Hello everyone, and thank you for joining PCM for the webinar Do More with Dell Ultrabooks and Tablets. My name is Claude, and I'll be your host and moderator for today. I just wanted to cover a few quick housekeeping issues. First off, we will be recording this presentation, and we will be sending out an on-demand version to everyone. So if you have to drop off the call for any reason, you will be able to listen to the rest of the presentation. At the end of today's presentation, we will be conducting a live question and answer session. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please use the Q&A or chat feature that can be found on the right-hand side of your screen. You can send a question straight to me, and they'll be addressed during the Q&A session. Now, I would like to introduce our presenter, Sven Tenzarla. Sven has been in the IT industry for over 25 years. In his current position at Dell, Sven is focused on business line growth through channel partners. Sven is married with children and calls Texas his home. Now, without any further delay, I would like to turn today's presentation over to Sven. Sven?
Hey, thank you. Thank you all for participating in this quick Dell, what we call business client update, and focus on Ultrabooks and tablet. And so the agenda today covers the entire Dell portfolio. So I'd like to briefly touch on our desktop. Basically, it's Optiplex is our line of business name for our desktop, and then there's a growth in the all-in-one. So I'm going to briefly touch on that, and as well as our notebook family, which is a Latitude for business solutions. And of course, one of the biggest growth areas and interest to all is the tablets. And so we're going to discuss about the tablet plans, what we're doing in the area of tablets. Again, focus more on business than on consumer. And then there's a workstation. There's a workstation family, which is precision family. So we're going to touch on that. And then you're going to see some of these products with product refreshes with the new Intel processor, the code name Haswell. And so you're going to see some product refreshes along with some new products coming up starting in summer. And then we're going to briefly touch on the way we're doing business and make it a lot simpler to get the products to you, the right products. And then finally, the most important one was the Windows XP cliff, i.e. the Windows XP is going, Microsoft is going to stop supporting Windows XP April 2014, and what's that mean? And if you do have XP-based, Windows XP-based clients, you may want to consider looking at migrating to Windows 7 or Windows 8. So the slide number 3 that talks about the fact that we do believe that one size does not fit all, and so we do have product portfolio for every usage model, because even within a customer environment, you have admins, right? Then you have knowledge workers, task workers, executives, and people that are always on the go. So we have a product portfolio that addresses entire usage model. Starting from the left, from the top left, the desktops and laptops. In the area of desktops, we do have a good, better, best. So, which is like the 3000 Optiplex 3000, the 3010, and then there's a 7010, which is kind of a mainstream, and then 9010, which is kind of a high end. And within that desktop family, we're gonna refresh the high end 9010 with the Haswell sometime in the second half, starting anytime after June with the Haswell. So you'll see 9020 number 20 at the end that kind of signifies the new fourth generation Intel processor. Now, the product below that, which is kind of exciting, and from Gartner point of view, there is a growth, modest growth in all-in-one. So we have today a 23-inch all-in-one on the 9010 family. So that's all-in-one, non-touch as well as touch options. So and it's really a space saving. So it has high-end Intel Core from i3, i5, i7 with the vPro, and then you can actually hang the whole unit on a wall or put it on a pedestal. And in this space, you will see another entry in the space, all-in-one with 3000 family, so make it a little bit more affordable as well. So we're going to have not only this 9010 all-in-one touch, you'll see a little bit later on the 3000 family all-in-one as well. And then down below that, you see Latitude family, and in the Latitude family, we have two classes. One is what we call the E6000 family, and then you see E5000 family. The main difference between the two is the 6000 is more rugged and robust and more durable. And actually, we use the 6000 series as a base to build, semi-rugged and rugged laptops with them. And you see an X there for the model number. That X is basically screen size. So, like in the 6000 series today, we offer 6230. That means it's a 12-inch screen. We offer E6330, that means that's 13.3 inches screen, 6430, 14-inch, and 6530, which is 15.6 inches. In the E5000 series, we offer 14-inch and 15.6 inches. And the bigger the screen, the 15.6 screen, we also have a numeric keypad on the keyboard. So for people who want a numeric keypad, that's a value there. And so far, what we have discussed is the core desktops and notebooks. I think if you look under Ultrabooks, I think the most exciting thing about the Ultrabooks is the fact that they are much thinner than their cousins in the traditional notebook family, and an Ultrabook has all the key features of a tablet that people love with a real keyboard, and that kind of translates into an Ultrabook. So some of the key features that you can come to expect in Ultrabook is almost instant on capability, longer battery life, and lightweight. So there's a specification that we all have to comply with before we call something an Ultrabook. And one of the exciting products that we announced recently, actually I think in October timeframe, is the Latitude 6430U, and again that's a 14-inch Ultrabook, and it was built from scratch for business professionals, and it's completely solid state drives, and it has all the security features like fingerprint reader, smart card, and everything you come to expect in a Latitude brand of a notebook is in this Ultrabook. Plus, it has lighter weight, about 3.45 pounds, and it comes with a 3-cell battery and 6-cell battery, and it's a customer replaceable. 3-cell is about 6 hours of battery life, and 6-cell battery is about 10 hours. So, which is really awesome from Ultrabook point of view. And so I have a slide just to reiterate some of those features of the Ultrabook. And then underneath the Ultrabook, the Latitude 6430U, we also have a brand line of business, we call it LOB business brand called XPS. And XPS is something that you can use at home and you can use it at work, So it's like the bring your own device kind of a concept. And XPS 13 is awesome because of its extremely lightweight, extremely ultra thin, and it uses the same x86 architecture like the Core i5, i7, i3 for that matter. But a lot of people that travel a lot, this would be the product to have because it has all the Windows features as well as the latest Intel processor. So right now you see a non-touch, so Windows 7 makes sense with the XPS 13, but you can expect touch as well going forward. And the other XPS product that you see right underneath that XPS 13 is our XPS 12 convertible, we call it, because it's like you can use it like a traditional laptop, or you can flip the screen and then fold it and turn that into a tablet. Of course, it's going to be more like a 12-inch tablet, but runs Windows 8 very nicely, and we have received numerous recognition for the design and the durability of it. Excuse me. In addition to that, we just launched this product called Latitude 3330, and the main focus area for this 3330 is for school systems like K through 12, and for SMB customers, mainly S and SMB. And again, it has all the Latitude tenants, and the product is under, it's about $499 and below with some of the entry configurations. So it makes it very, very attractive for a lot of people to do computing, and maybe they care less about the fastest processor in the world and the largest features, or the maximum capacity and all that. But it's a very interesting product, and I'll show you some of the specs on that. As we look under those workstations, so we call workstations mainly the ones that are graphic intensive workstations for engineering, construction, any kind of a design oriented 3D graphics and all of that. So in the workstation class, we have traditional what we call fixed workstations. They're like the desk side workstations, and so again, in there we offer the T1650 is like an entry workstation, and then you got a single socket 3000 T3000 series, and then we have the T5000 and T7000 are dual socket, and you could use Xeon processors, and It has, ECC memory as an option with the self-correction, and has various options to put high-performance graphics cards for doing a lot of high engineering activity like wind tunnel effect, wind tunneling, auto design and all of that. And then we're one of the few vendors that offer workstations in a mobile platforms like M4700 and M6700 family. And again, basically one is a 15.6-inch screen and the other one is, I believe, 17 inches. So we have those options as well. Now, the last not but least is the tablets and our tablet story. And I think what makes Dell tablets unique from all the tablets that are out there, right? And so we have a consumer tablet which is called XPS 10, which I don't have on this slide, but XPS 10 uses ARM-based technology and Windows RT, and it's almost, it's like the Windows tablet surface. Now, XPS 10 is mainly like, since it's an ARM-based technology, it's more like the class of tablets you see, say like the Apple iPad, as well as Galaxies, the world, and anybody that uses Android. And those are all kind of ARM-based technology, but one of the things we wanted in the business is, since there are so many applications that run under x86 architecture, we wanted to offer our Latitude 10 with Intel dual-core Atom processor, and then there's a lot of talk about Microsoft announcing Surface Pro, which is more of a Core i5, and people say, when are you going to have i5-based tablets? And we will, and I think today's Intel technology is really a power hog, which is really designed for desktops and traditional notebooks. But when it comes to tablets, one of the reasons a lot of vendors use in the consumer space the ARM-based technology is because of longer battery life. But the most exciting thing is, second half of this year, there will be the Haswell 4th generation Intel technology, which will dramatically cut down the power of these i5s and i7s, and then we feel that it makes sense to use those Haswell-based i5s and i7s, not today's i5s or i7s in a tablet. So that's one of the things that you'll see, in the marketplace, and most probably asking or wondering about what our plans are in that. Within this Latitude 10, basically, we offer, again, 2 or 3 variations of the same Latitude 10. One is what we call Essential. Essential is like the sealed battery. So the battery is sealed. So this is just like what you see in your iPad or other tablets. The only good thing about that is, if you are in if you're a K through 12 environment, excuse me, if you're in K through 12 environment, and you don't want kids to pull out the battery, that's one of the big pluses with that. But I think our strength comes with our what we call Latitude 10 standard and security models, which gives you we're one of the few companies that offer customer replaceable batteries for this tablet. So you can have a 2-cell battery or a 4-cell battery, and that battery life is anywhere from 10 hours to 20 hours, depending upon your application. And I think this is another reason case to be made about Intel Core i. Today's i5 technology that you see in Surface Pro, the battery life on that is about 4 to 4.5 hours. And so to be perfectly honest, 4 hours or 4.5 hours for a battery life for a tablet between charges is not that interesting. I think people come to expect 10 to 20 hours battery life. So that's what our objective is, and I think the new technology going forward will make that happen. So another feature that we have is this whole Latitude 10 security. Again, it's Intel based. It's a Windows 8 Pro. Is if you're using this for a business, you have fingerprint reader, smart card. We have what we call Dell data protection and encryption features. So if you are carrying some sensitive stuff, or if you're gonna have your field people using this tablet, and if they left someplace, there are safeguards, and second and third form of authentication to have any kind of data compromise. So here's the slide on the Ultrabook, the R6430U Ultrabook. Again, it's the most durable design, which uses the military standard 810G testing, and the durable material for the tri-metal design, which is like, you have the outer shell of the screen, you got an inner casing, and then you have the screen to make it more durable. I have not done it, but one of my development executives, he kept on throwing this on the carpet at a meeting, and it kept on running. So I don't encourage you to do that, but just to demonstrate the fact that it's kind of durable, and for a typical business environment, running to the airports and all of that, you can be self-assured. It's a lot more durable than what you see, say like with the X1 as an example. You had to make the call yourself on from a durability point of view. But I think you can be self-assured of the durability, and so we have in the keyboard, in the keyboard, we have the backlit keyboard, which is really a value. So if you are working in a low light area or on an airplane on a long haul flight, you can use the keyboard, backlit keyboard, and again, it's spill proof, and it's a much better sealed LCD. So again, one of the other things for very quick on or always on requirement that Ultrabook demands, we offer 100% solid state drives. Here's a good example of you have 128 gig solid state, you got 256 SSD, and you also have 256 self-encrypted drives too. And in addition to that, we do have the Dell data protection and encryption, and basically what that is you have the ability to encrypt your hard drive, so you don't have to have a self-encrypted drive. You can encrypt your hard drive. You can actually lock out the ports, the USB ports, so no one can walk in and just copy files without anyone's consent. Or you have the ability to even copy it onto a pen drive and have it encrypted, so the data will not be compromised. So those are some of the features, and of course it comes with Intel vPro option for the Core i5 and i7. And again, the beauty with that is the systems management, right? So if the system experiences lockdown with a blue screen, and if your support is at the other side of the city or other side of the country or even other side of the world, you can use the vPro to take over and manage the system, and also manage your patches and whatnot, and also can enforce the user logon and password. So if your environment is such that you want to make sure your employees change the password every 90 days or 30 days, you can actually, I think there's a way for you to log it, look at the log and see if that was indeed being practiced. So a little bit detail on this XPS 12 Ultrabook Convertible. Again, there's a lot of interest in this product because of its slickness and ability to use it, in a dual way, depending upon. Actually, you can use it in so many ways, because if you are a salesperson and you have a bar chart and you have a customer sitting on the other side of the desk, you can actually flip the screen, and there's an auto rotate capability so that the screen itself rotates with gyro in the screen, so that it can automatically rotate and people can see the data. And of course, it uses Corning Gorilla Glass for durability, and of course, it has that TPM chip. And what we have is a business class Pro support and CFI. So Dell has a product called the Pro Support, which is a services product. So for instance, like you can get a 1-year warranty, or when we talk about warranty, it's always a hardware warranty, right? And it's always good for 1 year or 3 years, depending upon the product and everything. But the Pro Support will help. It's like 24/7. There's somebody that's available all the time to ask questions, not only about the hardware, but also some of our software. Ton of our software vendors. We have most popular software that's sold under Dell, through Dell, like Adobe as an example, and any of the products. So there's a support for that too, how to, or any conflicting resolutions. And again, we have Backlit Keyboard. And if you look at the Latitude 10, again, this runs a real Windows 8. It's not like the Windows RT that you see in the Surface, nor if you look at other guys like Android and Mac, or the iOS. This is the same old Windows, because Windows 8 is a fancy touch and tile, what they call touch tile, fancy GUI. But if you look at under the hood, right, the drivers and everything are still Windows 7 based, most of them, I should say. So, so if you look at that, it's about, as you can see, it's a 10.1-inch screen, and again, it's Gorilla Glass. We have a docking station that you see there that you can plug in. So the field people, right, could use the tablet in the field, come back, put it in the docking station, And if you are in the Windows environment, everything is all automatic, right? Everything gets updated, synchronized, whatever it is that you may be doing in your environment. You have that. See, that's one of the biggest values to having a full Windows 8 or Windows 8 Pro. It's it's not really someone's tablet looks better than others. It's more of the ecosystem that you're buying into, because we went through all these battles in the past, right, with the databases, Oracle versus all these different databases, and then another decade we fought the battle that what's an open system? Is that a Linux, or is that is the Unix the real deal, or the one that where people can use and exchange files? And the reality is that battle that we went through, kind of Microsoft came up with that, because the reality is Microsoft is being used with the 96% of the entire IT is on the client side, right? 96%, pretty high worldwide, or we have at least 1 billion users. So when you look at the tablet space, the other guys may have, if you look at the market share today, naturally, Apple being the front runner, starting 2006, they came up with they enjoy about 48% of the market share, and then the Google Android has about the similar number. So Windows and Microsoft kind of starting slow, but I would argue if you look at next 2 years or 3 years, the ISVs, they will dramatically improve number of apps, and anything that's available in other OSs. Not only will have them, but we may have more more practical applications as well. And then in addition to that, naturally, systems management, it would make it a lot easier for the IT folks to manage a Windows if they have Windows Server in the back end to begin with. And one of the other things that we're offering here is active Stylus. So an optional stylus with a proper application, you can actually have, field folks can sign documents, capture signature, all of that stuff, and so that's a nice option. So if any of you are in the healthcare industry, this could be a great product for the doctors to walk in with the stylus, pull the customer data or the patient's data in this case, and make comments, and then have everything synchronized, and having a removable battery. In one of the peripherals, we have a big battery bank of batteries that can be charged all at once. So all they have to do is if they for some reason if they forgot to charge it, they are running over 10 hours or 20 hours, you just suspend it and put the new battery in less than a minute, and again you're ready to go. So from a productivity point of view and all of that, it's a great feature. Anyway, so those are some of the features. And again, as you see there, you have USB ports as well as the Ethernet, HDMI. So that's another interesting point that you may want to consider, even on the tablet itself. And on the docking station, you don't have a mini HDMI where you have to buy another dongle or mini Ethernet port. These are real Ethernet ports. You better plug it in. So the next slide that I have that kind of shows what I mentioned earlier. That is, we have essential, what we call a Latitude 10 essential, which is kind of a sealed battery, which is ideal for education and more budget-conscious customers. And what gives on this is, since it's a sealed battery, you would have the same, battery charges, after 2,000 charges or whatever, if you have to replace the battery, you have to either get a pro support or send it to some store or return to depot. And also, since it's a sealed unit, you may not have the 4G option, with the 3G versus 4G and all of that. If you look at the second, the middle, and the rightmost one, since they are customer battery replaceable, not only it's extremely productive, you can buy those batteries and you can change it yourself. So which is kind of pretty cool. And again, we talked about this more secure version, which is kind of great for government and healthcare, banking, because of the fact that you can do second level of authentication and third level of authentication with the smart cards and fingerprint reader and all of that good stuff. So briefly, next slide, I wanted to touch on this Latitude 3000 family. We just announced 2 days ago the 3330 family, which uses, again, our Latitude brand, and it, you can see the measurements. It's kind of a thin and light, swappable by battery options, and it's Energy Star. And this is kind of a priced to win in that under $500 category. And here's some of the specs on the following slide. And one of the things that I may want to bring out here is the fact that it uses both SSD drive or hybrid drive or traditional drive. And the other thing to notice is, even in this entry class, there is that WiDi option, so that it comes with actually part of the Intel chipset, where you can actually project wirelessly the screen. The next slide talks about ships fast, and the reason I'm bringing up ships fast is because one of the things that we have noticed and we learned was, potentially, if you say you can build configure systems any way you want, there are thousands of combinations. And from a productivity point of view, we have looked at, after making, a billion or so calls worldwide, and looking at most of the successful products that were sold, the 80-20 rule still applies. And so what we are doing, or today what we have, and what you'll see more and more, is pre-configured systems. You can still build your own configuration, but you'll see more and more most popular configurations, and it will be a lot easier to look at them and say, yep, this is the configuration I would like, and they'll be much quicker to have it on your desk, because since they're pre-configured and pre-built, it would be a lot easier. So that's that about the ships fast. And and a little bit in the summertime, you will see more and more of that throughout the product line and throughout the globe. And the last but not least is the Windows XP. The support ends on April 24th, actually April 4th, I guess, or something like that. There's even a date for this. And no automatic fixes and any kind of support at that time. And the thing that concerns me the most is absence of security patches could result in PC data being at risk. So, for instance, if there's a hacker and they figured out a bug, and then getting a fix for that for XP, it's going to be kind of challenging. And one of the key things is encourage everyone to look at their inventory of Windows XP based clients, and then start having a plan to transition them. So in summary, most secured laptops that we think are that we offer, because again our focus has always been on the security and the data that these laptops and tablets carry nowadays, and then of course the systems management is another high focus, because as we are working with more and more mobile employees with mobile devices, systems management becomes kind of a challenge, and no company is adding more people, but we're increasing the complexity. So I think everything we do, we always focus on thinking about the systems management and the security. So we have traditional notebooks, we got Ultrabooks, we'll have some more Ultrabooks that will come in the second half of this year. And then in the area of specialty, we have rugged notebooks as well. As I said, the Latitude E6000 family was built with the military grade standards in mind. So so we have rugged notebooks. If you are in if it requires a fire department or so local state government officials and all of that. Workstations, we talked about business class tablets. So with that, we'll open up for questions.
All right. Thank you, then. We will now be moving to our live question and answer portion of today's presentation. If you guys have any questions, please send them in using the question and answer pane, and Ben will be more than happy to answer your questions. All right, it seems, come on. Nobody has asked his or her question yet. Ben, if you have anything more to add, or if you think.
No, I think, again, as I said, I think, security, Dell is one of the first ones to embrace the whole BYOD, bring your own device, and some of the assessment that one has to look at to see if it makes sense, and and then depending upon the environment, the customer environment they're in. But other than that, no, I think the only comment I would add is we got a lot more exciting products in the pipeline. I think the technology is coming down in power, but while increasing the performance, and of course, so more battery life, and of course, Windows 8 adoption today from a business point of view. I think it's a no-brainer if somebody's using a tablet, but I think traditional business, I see Windows 7, professional enterprise, and then transitioning to maybe a little bit later, but that's the kind of trend that I'm seeing. The touch screen, Windows 8, non-touch, and bulk of the business. I see Windows 7 continuing that path, and which is good. Either way is great, as long as we move out of that great Windows XP, which served its purpose 10 years ago. But I think the world has changed. So.
All right. Thank you so much for that insight. Now, we received one question. It's from Louis. He asks, how is the Latitude 10 compared to the HP Elite Pad?
Well, I think one has to look at side by side. I just don't have the side-by-side comparison, if you will, but the only thing I would say is I'm not sure if it's a replaceable battery or not, so that's one of them that comes to my mind.
All right. Any more questions, guys? You can send them in now. Nope, no questions. We still have 10 more minutes probably for your questions. All right. I guess, unless Ben, you have anything more to add, I think we can now close this session. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add.
All right, thank you so much. That's about all the time that we have. Should you have additional questions, you can send them in offline, and they'll be addressed and answered through the on-demand email. I would like to thank you, Ben, for this very informative webinar, and thank you all for taking the time to join us today. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.